I made like 2 beats in my career and them shits was fire. I lost the CD that had the shit, so there's no way to prove that, but trust me, it was fucking fire. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad Woolly, and you are here again for another edition of Woolly Reviews Hip Hop Data Beats Edition. Today we got an album review today, and we have our first instrumental album review of the show. That's right, no bars here, no rappers. We talk about them beats and the producer who made them shits. And we got an album from a young producer based out of New Jersey, out of LA right now, making all kinds of noise. Made a few placements that people may recognize, but he got a new joint, so we had to holler at it. Well, I wanted to holler at the shit because I like the nigga's work. So let's talk about it. Talking about Knxwledge, Hud Dreems. Now, for those who don't know who Knxwledge is, like I said, he is a young producer based out of New Jersey, and he's been doing a lot of work for many, many years. He's got about 64 fucking projects on Bandcamp alone. I don't even know if that's the exact number, but he's got a lot of shit on fucking Bandcamp, and he's been building up his name for years. He actually ended up signing a deal with Leaving Records, which is sort of a subsidiary record label of Stones Throw Records, and then he eventually moved up to the main Stones Throw roster, and that's where this album came from. He's also gotten several production placements on certain albums from other artists like Blue, Homeboy Sandman, Joey Badass, and of course his most recent and famed one, Kendrick Lamar, for the song Mama off To Pimp a Butterfly. But now, Knxwledge is back on his beats game, and he's talking about a new album instrumentally, and we're gonna talk about the shit and see what Hud Dreems is all about. So let's talk about the shit. Now, when I first put on this album and started listening to Hud Dreems, I quickly realized that it has a real mellow, chill, soulful, real classic hip-hop type sound. It's got that jazzy, soulful, boom-bappish style, but it still has a little bit of a difference and variation and uniqueness to it. He really reminds me of a Dilla or a Madlib or a Doom, like, you know, when it comes to the production side of things. He's got a real knack for making beats that just have these little nuances to them that just make them real unique and give them personality. On top of that, he knows how to lay a solid foundation for beats. He's got great drums, great bass lines. I'm a sucker for bass lines. He's got some dope bass lines, and he uses a wide variety of instruments on each of the beats. I mean, we got everything from horns to fucking pianos to fucking xylophones or glockenspiels or blocks and tambourines, and I think he got every goddamn fucking instrument in the instrument world and just said, let me use that shit and I'll fucking make it dope, and he did the shit. And what I like about this album is that it's got a lot of variety to it, but it still stays within the same cohesive realm of the sound that it's trying to portray, which is a really soulful, laid-back sound. There are times where it goes up and down with the vibe of it and the energy, but it still keeps that same tone, which is real dope. And there's a lot of beats on this album, about 26 tracks altogether, but they're all very short for the most part. Some of them stay within the 1 minute mark, around there. Some hit the 2, and then only one hits the 3, and some are actually under a minute. And that really reminds me of the way that Madlib and Dilla and Doom would do their instrumental projects, keeping their beats real short and concise. Just enough for you to really get a feel of the beat, but not enough for niggas to want to take the beat and make songs off of them, unless you know how to get a program and then you can chop the beat up and loop it and then make a song. Not that I know anything about doing shit like that, but you can do that. But by Knxwledge making the beats that length, it keeps the listener intrigued, and the variations and changes in the beats are so sudden and so quick that it makes it a good listen and you don't get bored with a beat or bored with a track. And for the most part, this album is a straight solid playthrough. There's a lot of variety in the beats. You got the head nodding joints, you got the real vibey, laid back, cool joints, you got the different experimental type of joints, and they're all on here in a very cohesive manner. Also, he tends to use a lot of samples from modern day music or hip hop to, you know, kind of guide along the theme of the album. A lot of people naming Knxwledge. He's got a sample, Nas sample from the movie Belly. He was actually also had a sample from the song Win or Lose from Mobb Deep. That's one of my favorite joints from the American's Nightmare album. He has that on the track as a sample, and he also uses a lot of excerpts and stuff like that. He's not like Dilla or Madlib or anybody who uses like those samples that you can't find or you don't know where they came from, or they're just really weird and obscure. He kept it real traditional and sort of, for the most part, familiar with his samples, but the sound of the beats that he makes are really a very unique thing. So it's a good little blend of like modern and then like the non-modern stuff, and Knxwledge really portrayed it well. And I like how he pretty much just used that to guide along, you know, pretty much referencing him, Knxwledge, because a lot of those samples reference the actual, or say the actual name or word Knxwledge, which is a dope thing. Now, I gotta give him a top 5 tracks. I always do that shit, but there's so many fucking tracks on this project. I couldn't just get 5. I'm gonna just run down the list and say which tracks I like the best, and then whatever number that is, let me get this shit. You know me, and I'm never ready for it, but deal with this shit. I don't give a fuck anymore. All right, so the first track, oh, and another thing about this that before I start naming these tracks, this nigga doesn't like vowels, or most of more than one vowel apparently, because some of these shits I can't even fucking tell you what the real fucking pronunciation of it is. So bear with me. I may get it right, I may get it wrong, but what the fuck ever. So one of my favorite tracks is actually the beginning track. It's Comatose Style Ain't Really Fuck It. The first track, okay, that's the name of the shit, and I like it, okay. It's a real good opener. It's got a lot of nice energy to it, and it's just got it really sets the tone of that soulful hip-hop vibe that this whole album kind of pictures and just, you know, starts to, for the most part, display throughout the whole thing. The next track that I really like, hold on, let me go down the list because it's a lot of fucking tracks, it really is here we go, I'm sorry, y'all. Here we go. My Desire, Fort Wayne, Van Nuys. And that one that has the actual Win or Lose Mobb Deep sample. I like that track. It's got a real good vibe to it. It's just got a nice bass line. I love the bass line on that one. And then it's just got a real head noddy vibe to it. And it's just, I mean, you just gotta listen to it. It's only about 1:54 long. I wish it was longer. But my favorite beat on here is what I'm hoping is Trash. It's spelled T-R-S-H, but I think it's Trash. But this beat is far from fucking trash. This shit is fucking dope. It's got the best bass line on here. It's got a nice guitar. I think it's an acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitar drum line or bass line, and just that shit just fucking sold that shit for me. The whole beat is dope, but that shit right there, when that kicks in, I think it's on the second half because the beat kind of has a beat change, but when that shit kicks in, that shit sold it for me. And this is one of the dopest, and this is the dopest beat on here to me personally, and you gotta check that one out. And it is actually the longest beat on there, which is really cool. And then Just Stowy, which I think was the actual single. I like that one, got a nice little high energy. It's got this real eerie whoo sound. I don't know where it's from, but it's got a whoo. That's whack that I said that, but that's what it is, and it's real dope. And then Never Ending is another one of my favorites, and that whole chunk, I think it's between tracks like 17 and 20. Those is like that's like my sweet spot on this album. That's my favorite shit. But the whole goddamn thing is a fucking dope instrumental project, and I was really impressed with this project. And Knxwledge's work, I've always liked Knxwledge's work. I've been here in and out with his stuff because he's got so much fucking work. But when I do listen to his stuff, I always like it. And this is a really dope project. And this is his Stones Throw debut, and it is a great fucking debut to be on Stones Throw. And I hope we hear more instrumental projects. I hope we get like a series like Madlib does. That would be really dope. And Knxwledge is just killing it right now. So, hey, man, like, yo, good job on this fucking album and making these beats. And, you know, I'd like to get one. You know, I'm asking you now so I don't use it later without your permission. So just like, you know, say yes in some way, and then, you know, I got you. I'm not whack. So, I mean, come on, Knxwledge, help me help you and help it together. But whatever. I mean, album's dope. That's all I got to say. Album is fucking dope. So my final verdict, I'm not saying that Knxwledge Hud Dreems is an all-around great instrumental album. It tells a good story, it's really cohesive, and the fact that he's able to do this without any rappers or MCs shows how good of a producer he is. All I'm saying is that the hip-hop vibe is here. He uses probably every goddamn instrument on the goddamn planet at least once on this album, and it works all the time. The flow of this album is good. I like the samples that he used. He kept it real modern with the samples, but he still used a lot of soul sampling for the actual sounds of the beats, and a lot of other instrumental samples that I have no idea where he got them from, but the shit sounds good. So all I gotta really say is that Knxwledge Hud Dreems, for me, is 100% Granddad approved. Definitely check it out if you like instrumental albums. This shit is up the lane of the Beat Conductor series or the Donuts or the Special Urge series. It's one of those type of fucking instrumental albums, and you gotta listen to it if you like instrumental albums or if you just like listening to some real good hip-hop beats. MCs, you know, this is the type of music that you would probably be into if you like those real hip-hop beats, but don't try to like steal them. Like, don't take them. Like, just ask or, you know, enjoy the music, but if you want to use the beat, ask Knxwledge. I'm asking Knxwledge. Let me get a beat real quick, bro. But that's all I gotta say. So, Knxwledge, Hud Dreems. It's Granddad approved. Let me get a beat, Knxwledge. That's all I gotta say. Beat one. Just one beat. Knxwledge, Hud Dreems. Granddad approved. Flip it. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and drop a comment. Tell me what you think of Knxwledge Hud Dreems if you heard it. If you haven't heard it, like I said, it's a real dope instrumental album. One of the best I've heard in a long time. And we don't get many of those. So when one drops and it's a good one, support the shit because it's good. Why would you not? previous videos on the side as well as my music video. Check those out, show them some love. And as always, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram, links in the description below, and subscribe. Button on the screen, button below, Woolly Reviews, twice a week, gaming channel. Check that out. And I got nothing more to say. So until next time I take my leave, granddaughter, knowledge Hud Dreems, this shit's dope, and I need a beat. I'm out of here.